Hi, it's Dr. Gemma. I'm back, and Happy New Year. This is being recorded in January of 2020. I hope everybody's having a good new year whenever you're watching this. All right, so this particular strategy is about anxiety, and I like this one. I developed this in 1979 when I was an undergrad studying biology, and I was very concerned about getting things done. And I found that I would lie awake at night in bed worrying, as so many people do. And I developed what I call the Worry Workbook. And the Worry Workbook is very simple. Its whole goal is to transfer worries into plans. And the reason I do this is very simple. Even at 19, I had figured out that my brain was rewarding me somehow for worrying in exactly the same way that it was rewarding me for planning. So the goal is, don't do that. Worrying is useless, planning is useful. But there are bigger implications. It turns out your body rewards you, your brain rewards you for worrying the way you do for planning by giving you all those nice mental opiates. So great, right? So let's just worry. Well, the problem is your brain may reward you, but your body punishes you. When you plan, your body pretty much does nothing. But when you worry, your body releases corticosteroids that eventually will corrode your cardiovascular system. Takes about 30 years. So people who worry in their 20s have heart attacks in their 50s if they keep worrying all that time. So we don't want to do that. The other thing you need to know is the definition of anxiety versus the definition of depression. Depression is when you give up. Life is horrible. I can't do anything. I'm just going to crawl into bed and do nothing. That's the ultimate. Depression can be to a lesser extent where instead of just giving up, you're struggling not to give up, but it comes out to about the same thing, doesn't it, in the end? That feeling of hopelessness. Worry is about sort of the opposite. Worry is about I'm giving up, and so what I do is a lot of useless stuff instead. So instead of solving my problems, I pace the floor. Pacing may give me brief biological relief, but it doesn't actually fix whether or not I've paid the tax bill or that sort of thing, if you see what I'm saying. So people who are anxious are doing useless things to make up for their inability to do what they need to do. And they may not be unable, they just may be timing it badly. And that's what the Worry Workbook is about. The Worry Workbook works like this. Sorry about the shaky camera, I'm holding it in my hand as I sit here. Okay, the Worry Workbook works like this. You get yourself a blank book, and I don't care what size, you may have to experiment. But it has to be something that you can carry with you everywhere in your bag or in your pocket, whatever you want to use. Okay? I tend to use a very small book. It's not much bigger than my phone. It's really what you like. And you have to be able to carry a writing instrument with you because you don't want to type this. A Worry Workbook on your phone or laptop or tablet is less effective because, believe it or not, the act of writing, handwriting, is soothing to us. So you definitely want to handwrite this if in any way you can. When in doubt, okay, use your tablet or phone or whatever. But I'm going to talk about it like I'm using a blank paper book. You can use something like a rocket book where you can erase the pages. You don't have to use paper, but I prefer to have a book, and I'll get into why I do in a minute. All right, so I have a blank book, and what I'm going to do is open it to, a spread of 2 pages, left and right page. On the top of the left page, I write the word worries. On the top of the right page, I write the word plans. Now, you can use your Worry Workbook for more than this. You can keep a journal in it, you can keep notes in it, and I'll talk about that later. The point is, it has to be a book you have with you everywhere, and you have to have this set up. Worries on the left, plans on the right, okay? And I'll keep it right next to my bed at night, as well as right now I've got one in my carrying bag, my all-purpose tote bag. And what I do is this. I'm going to use the middle of the night as an example. I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm worrying. So on that left-hand page, I write what I'm worrying about. Now, I'm going to use myself as an example, and I'm going to fictionalize, so be patient. So for example, I wake up and I write in the Worry Workbook, I'll never catch up on my work. I didn't wake up, sorry, I'm lying there thinking that I want to be asleep and I can't sleep. So on the left-hand page, I write, my worries. And I write them generally. You don't have to specify. So I'm lying there and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'll never catch up on my work. So I write, I'll never catch up on my work. And I leave a space after it. And then I write, now I'm really fictionalizing, my kid has no friends at school. And then I write, my last doc visit was scary. All right. So 3 worries. You can use as many as you want. You can write all 15 or all 1,500. But make sure you leave some space because you're going to develop something there. Okay, so I'll never catch up on my work in a blank space. My kid has no friends at school in a blank space. My last doctor's visit was scary in a blank space. So now the next thing I do is I say, I pick any one of those that I want to work on, any one of them. So in this example, I'm going to pick, I'll never catch up on my work, okay? So in that space, I think, well, what does that even mean? I'll never catch up on my work. What work am I worrying about? Because there's a lot of different things I do. I could say I'm not doing these videos. I could say I need to do patient notes. I could say the house is a mess. Well, what I'm going to say is, and this is not true, guys. Everybody take a deep breath. My charting notes for my patients are, say, a week behind. No, I would never do that. But this is general, all right? And then I say, well, I'm worried about that, but I'm also worried because I'm not getting anything done around the house. I'm worrying about my notes. I'm not catching my notes up. And I'm letting the house become a mess. All right, so now I have 2 things written down under I'll never catch up on my work. I have my chart notes are a week behind, and I have the house is a mess. Now the chart notes, okay, now I can make a plan because I can plan about the chart notes. What about the house? What does it mean the house is a mess? That's too vague. So I think about it and I go, okay, well, the kitchen floor needs to be mopped, and the master bedroom is a mess, and my study is a disaster. Okay, so they need to be picked up. So now under that, my house is a mess. I have written the kitchen floor needs to be done, the master bedroom is dirty, and my study is dirty. Okay, so now I go over to the right-hand page where I have plans written at the top, because now I have things I can fix. Now I have specific problems that I can solve. So I'll start with my chart notes, and I say, well, I've got 5 notes. Let's say I do about 5-6 notes a day normally, and I'm a week behind, so that means I've got about, a week's worth. I've got, 25 notes. So what will I do? So I make a plan, and I say, and I make it as specific as I can. So I say, well, I'll do 5 notes per day of my old notes, and I'll keep my new notes up to date. But when will I do all this? So I pick a time. I will do them right after my last patient leaves. So if my last patient is gone at 4 p.m., I will sit down, I will immediately do all my current notes, all the notes from today, but then I'll do 5 of my old notes right away, okay? So if I do that, by the end of the week, I will have the week that's overdue finished as well as this week, and I'll be completely caught up, so that will solve that problem. Now I have a plan that I can stick to. So then I move to my next one, my kitchen floor. Well, let me think. Well, tomorrow I'm going to make dinner. I know what I'll do. I'll put a bucket and a mop right in my kitchen this morning. So I might write in, put bucket and mop in kitchen as soon as possible. Or I like to say, if I'm going to be back in my kitchen, say at 1 o'clock today, I'll say at 1 o'clock, And then I'll say, well, when will I do the floor? Well, tomorrow after dinner. I'm making dinner, so tomorrow after dinner, I'll do the floor. So now I'll do the kitchen floor tomorrow after dinner. And bonus points if I put in, I'll put the mop aside there, okay? Well, what about the master bedroom? Well, I'm not going to get to that. My first morning off is Sunday, so Sunday morning. I'll put that on my Sunday morning list in my journal. That's good. What about my study that's a mess? I'm going to close the door because that's a big project and I don't have time. So now on the planning side, on the right-hand page, I've got specific plans that I can put into action, okay? So now I'm going to do this with all 3 of my big worries. So for example, my kid has no friends at school. I think about it and I think, well, how would he get friends? Well, we live very distant from his school. That's one of his problems. We have to drive him in every day. So I decide, well, I'll put him in an after-school program. How will I find out about that? Well, I have to call his teacher. So I'll write call teacher. I'll say enroll in school extra programs, and then I'll figure out how will I do that. Well, I'll call his teacher, and I'll even put her phone number down, And I'll decide, well, when will I do that? I'll do that tomorrow morning. Well, but I also need to tell my son what my plan is. Well, tomorrow after school, I pick him up at about 4, so at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Now, please remember this is all fictional, but still. So you get the idea that I'm going to take every one of my problems on that left-hand page labeled worries, and I'm going to break them down into steps I can manage and write those steps with specific times and notes that I need, like phone numbers, on the right-hand page. Okay, so I'm going to show you pictures. This is what a basic worry workbook looks like for me. Okay, so you can see in here, I am including the pictures of, here are step by step, here are the way the pages develop, and here's what a final page looks like. And you can adapt this, but make sure when you do that right hand page, you put all the notes you need. I've skipped a few in here for brevity's sake, but you want to make sure you put all the notes you need to complete each of your tasks, what time you will do it, if you have to call somebody or email them, what their phone number and name are, what their email is, what their phone number is, okay? Now, this is another reason I do this in a paper format, and I don't erase it the way you would with something like a Rocketbook, an erasable notebook, because the Worry Workbook becomes really useful to me now. I keep it with me because I'll have those notes forever. So if I ever need, for example, my kid's teacher's phone number this year, I have it in the Worry Workbook. It's amazing. I do have my old Worry Workbooks. I keep them like journals. And that leads to another thing, that you can adapt this to whatever works. Like you can use a day planner, a day runner, a day timer, whatever you're calling it. So I'm going to include a picture of mine here. So I have it now. Instead of doing my old-fashioned worries versus plans page, on the right-hand page I put today's date, and I put all the tasks I need to get done, a to-do list. And on the left-hand page, I will put all the notes for my plans. Okay, so I'm going to show you an example. I had a friend visiting last week, and I hope she'll forgive me. But, on the left-hand page, I was thinking about, well, what will I make while she's here? So I put some diet ideas, some food ideas. Now, this is fictionalized, but thank you, my friend. Okay, and you can see on the right-hand page, I have my daily stuff that every day I do 10 minutes of yoga. Every day I meditate in the morning. Every day I walk 30 minutes. Every day I make sure my notes are up to date. But on the left-hand page, I have my notes. So I have here some food possibilities. Maybe we'll ride around and look at yarn stores because we're both knitters. And I'm going to make sure that to keep my notes up to date before my friend comes, I did the notes after each patient. That day, Saturday, January 11th, was actually a day I was working, and she was coming late in the day. So I have the notes for the meal, so I could set that up before I left home. And then I have notes for, remember to talk to her about the yarn tour. And then also I'm going to do my notes after every patient, and she's coming at 6:30 p.m. So that's how I currently keep my Worry Workbook. But I'm giving you the starter version that I learned I taught myself and created back in 1979, because I want you to see that is the basic Worry Workbook. The second version, where I have my diary and to-do list, that's what I currently do, because I've adapted in the last, oh my God, 40 years. I have adapted how I do the Worry Workbook. So this is the Worry Workbook. It's to stop you from thinking pointlessly about your worries and move you into a planning mode so that you can actually get things done. You carry it with you everywhere. Anytime you worry, you stop, pull out your Worry Workbook, and even if you only do part of the exercise, that's good enough. But later you come back and fill it out. You carry it everywhere, and you use it to plan your day. So I hope the Worry Workbook helps you like it's helped me. Everybody, stay safe. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you soon. If you'd like to make a donation, buy me a cup of coffee, that link will be at the end as well. Bye-bye.